Everyone, this is Ida. I wanted to come on here, and I had questions about an envelope that I had shared last week on the Santa Baby paper. I was making some Happy Mail, you guys, and I was making the mini loaded envelopes with embellishments, and I created one that had some pockets in it, and I had questions about it. So I thought I'd come on hopefully and do not a real fast tutorial, because you know they're a little tedious, but as fast as I can make it, I will sure do it, you guys. Anyway, this envelope was inspired by my friend Carolyn, who we were in a swap together before we were even friends. We were in the Scrap the World Happy Mail swap. And this is what she created for us, you guys. And she had die cuts in here. She had created some tassels for us. And this was her loaded up, her Happy Mail that she created. Now, what I like about this is right here, you guys. She created this door in the back, or this flip in the back, where she had pockets in here. So she had this pocket and she had this pocket in here. I hope that I'm in frame, you guys, and you can see. But she had two pockets in here where she included our die cuts that she gifted us. Now, I still have mine just the way that she gave it to me. I think it's so pretty. I take it out to look at it, and then I put it right back, you guys. And then here was another pocket. See the pocket here? And then here was the third pocket, you guys, up here. So she had three pockets in her envelope. She had one that was just straight across. She had one at an angle. And then she had one that had a decorative edge to it. Now, mine is a Christmas in July Happy Mail loaded envelope that I was creating. But I don't really have any Christmas edge dies yet. So I'm just using what I have, and that's what I'm working with. But my loaded envelope, the back of it right here, was inspired, when I include my die cuts, was inspired by Carolyn, who is Tea Time and Dolls here on YouTube. And I will post her link below in the description box. But, you know, let's get started, you guys, because my phone is not fully charged, and I want to make it as short as possible. So this is what inspired me, her little envelope that she made for our swap. This one's mine. We have the pocket here. We have a pocket here on the outside, on the front. And then here's the inside of the envelope. Mine has the flip on the front. And it's got a pocket here and a pocket here. And I'm not going to decorate it, you guys, because that would take way too long, and you can use any paper you want. I'm just giving you the basics of the envelope. And then I had a pocket right here in the back where you could include something. So this is what we're creating today, you guys. But like I said, I'm not going to decorate it. So let's get started, you guys. Now, I already have all my pieces prepped just to make this. So this video won't last too long, you guys. And if my phone happens to stop, then I will have to cut it up into a couple of videos. So I'm hoping I don't have to do that. So anyway, you're gonna need a 12 by 12 piece of paper in any color that you want, and you're gonna split it down the middle at 6 inches, and you're gonna leave one at 12 inches, and then you're gonna score it at 8 inches. That way it gives you a pocket here. This is what creates the back pocket on my envelope. And then you're going to need another piece, you guys, that is only 6. The other piece, the other half, leave it at 6 inches, but cut it down to 7 and 7/8. And this is going to be the front of the envelope, because the pocket that this makes is the back pocket. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So you're going to need these two pieces, you guys. 6 by 12, and you're going to score it 8 inches, and then you're going to need a 6 by 7 and 7/8 inch piece. Now, you're also going to need 2 strips, and when I cut mine, I didn't pay attention, you guys. You need 2 little strips that are 2 inches wide, and you're going to score at every 1/2 inch. So you're going to score at 1.5 inches, at 1 inch, and at 1/2 inch on both pieces. And you're going to cut them down to, I'm going to say maybe 7 and 7/8. You want it a little bit shorter than the 8 inches that our envelope is going to be. So here it goes, you guys. This one's already cut, and I'm going to go ahead, and I've already scored it. You can see the score line very faintly. And it's really dark here right now because it's cloudy, you guys. But I did already score it at 8 inches. So here's my 8-inch, and here's what's left over of that 8-inch. Those 4 inches that are left over. And I'm just going to fold it over. And this paper I bought at, I got this paper at Hobby Lobby. And it's pretty thick. Although I didn't pay attention when I cut the strips, you guys. I didn't flip it to the back, and it had printing. So I'm hoping that this printing won't get in the way. But this feels pretty thick. And I don't know if it's basil or what it is. But this paper's pretty thick. And I like it. So here's the... This is going to be the front right here, you guys. This one, and this one's going to be the back. So we're going to put them together. The reason this one is cut an eighth of an inch shorter is because where this folds the score line, you don't want this envelope to be right on this piece to be right on the score line. You want it to be a little shy. That way it won't interfere with the score line. And these, we're going to put these two together, you guys, right here. And when you close this up and we put the gussets in the side pockets, this is what's going to make that back pocket. Now, I didn't cut a decorative edge on here, and I might still do it. And I should have done it before I even started, and I didn't even think about it, you guys. I think for now I'm just going to leave it, and then I can add a trim or something there with a decorative edge if I want. For the sake of this, this video, I'm just going to leave it. Now, here are my 2 pieces that I cut out for the gussets on my envelope. Remember, it's 2 inches by 12, and you're going to cut 4 inches off of that. So it's actually going to be 2 inches by 7 7/8. So disregard the 12, and it would be 2 inches by 7 7/8. A little shy, 1 point under that 8-inch mark. So we're just going to go ahead and fold this, you guys. We're going to fold these gussets where we scored it every 1/2 inch. And I scored mine already, you guys, but I'm not going to, but I didn't fold them just so I could show you guys. So this is what that gusset looks like, this accordion piece. And we're going to do the same here. We're going to fold it back and forth, you guys, hills and valleys. And I'm going to use this bone folder so I can make sure it creases nicely. So there it is. And I personally, you guys, I like to round the tops of my my pieces when I put in the hinges or the gussets. I always round them. So I think I want that to be the bottom. I always round them, you guys. That way when I put them on, they're not real noticeable, you know, the points. So I'm going to use glue with mine, guys, and the reason I'm using glue is because I believe that glue adheres better than the score tape. To me, I've had experiences where it comes unglued, and the glue normally doesn't do it, and the glue gives it strength. So all we're going to do is we're going to add glue to these pieces. If my glue feels like coming out, sometimes it sits on my desk for a while before I use it because I use all types of glues. Okay, so we're just going to add glue to right here, guys. And I hope that I am in frame. I think that I am. And now you can use part tape and part glue too. I've done that before. Oops. So all I'm going to do to this, you guys, is I'm going to adhere it to the edge of this paper right here, and you'll see right there. You can see right there where I adhered it. Let me get my and if I had cut this piece from one solid sheet without cutting it in half, then I could have left these extra on and just scored. But I was trying to use as little paper as possible. So this is the way I did it, and I'm going to show you what I used. 2 sheets, guys, to do this. two 12 by 12s, and I'll show you what I had left over. And the other one, you guys, we're going to line it up right here again, and we're going to adhere it to this little piece. Now remember, this hinge is going to fit perfectly here because this little piece, we cut it to 7 7/8. So the hinge is going to fit perfectly here. And I'm just going to burnish it right here with my score tool. Make sure it's on there nice and glued down. There it is. So this is what we have so far, you guys. I'll show you the back. That's what we have so far. Now, like I said, make sure you burnish the sides. That way they're nice and creased and they're not real bulky. So this piece, you guys, we're going to glue this one to the back one that we scored at 8 inches. And when we close it up, when we close this up, you guys, the tops to these are going to line up. And hopefully it won't interfere. See, we're going to glue it here, the hinge. We're going to line it up on the edge, line it up there, and glue it there. And we're going to do the same thing, guys, on both sides. Hopefully, I might have needed to leave a little bit more room where the score line is, but I'm hoping this will be good. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line this up to the edge of my hinge, right to the edge of the little gusset piece. And I'm going to line it up right here. And it's going to be a little bit shy of the 8 inches, you guys. And that was on purpose. So we could not, you know, so it wouldn't be where the fold line is. So we're going to just put that down. And I'm going to burnish it. Make sure it's nice and glued down. Let me open it up. And I'm going to show you right here so you can see how it's a little shy of the score mark. See where it bends? It didn't go all the way down. And that's what I wanted it to do because I don't want it to interfere with that score line. So now this other piece right here, the other side, you guys, we're going to add glue here. And I'm using just the Scotch glue. I really like to use this glue. I use different glues for different things that I'm doing. So I'm going to line this up, you guys, right here at the edge. And then I'm going to come down here and line this up. And that should be it. So this is a good part of our envelope already, you guys. And I'm going to burnish it down with my, my score tool. My bone folder. So there it is. Now I find this is not 110 pounds. This is less than 110 pounds because I find that when I use an 110 pound cardstock, it's harder to adhere, guys. With my other one, my very first one that I did, I had to add hot glue because even though I had the score tape, it was coming undone because the paper was so thick. So sometimes, you know, you need that paper that's not super thick. Now this to me feels more than 65 pounds, but it's not 110. So here's our envelope part, you guys, right there. There's our envelope part. And don't worry about the markings that I put on here because I'm going to cover it up with pattern paper. So right here, when I fold this over, you guys, here's going to be my back pocket to my envelope. At this, before you even adhere it here, if you're going to put a decorative edge on this, I recommend that you do it. Now I'm probably going to try and find some kind of snowflake edge die or something on here, but for now I don't have it, so I'm just going to work with what I have. Now the little piece that was left over from the 12-inch from these gussets, that little piece that was left over, don't throw it away, you guys. You already have it pre-scored. You cut it off at 4 inches. That little piece fits perfectly, almost perfect right here, you guys. All you have to do is trim off a little bit to give yourself that gusset, that thick pocket in the back if you want it to be like mine had gussets. So I'm going to show you mine. See, mine had the gussets, so it's a pretty big pocket. If you wanted to have gussets, then leave this piece the way it is at the 2 inches and score, just fold it. If you don't want it to have a gusset, you want it to be more tapered down, then I recommend that you that you just cut it like in half, fold the two pieces and adhere one to each side. But I'm going to leave it as is, you guys, because I do want it to be expandable. So I'm going to fold this piece over, and I did notice that it has to be trimmed because I don't want it to get too bulky. So I'm going to crease it first, and then I'm going to go in and trim it. I think I had a piece already cut out for this, guys, but I decided not to use it because I remembered that this little piece that was left over would be perfect for this, because I think the other one I did wasn't going to leave me any gussets. So I decided I want to gusset here. So again, I'm going to, I'm actually just going to, just by looking at it, you guys, I can tell more or less how much I need to cut off. See how it's a little long? Well, I'm just going to take my scissors right here and nip it there. And that'll give me the mark, you know, the piece that I need to cut off. And I'm going to just use the one I cut off to measure the other one. You know, it doesn't have to be exact, you guys. There you go. And I'm going to curve the tops like I always do. I'm going to curve these because I like the way it looks better like this than the other way. So my stuff is just flying everywhere. Again, we're going to adhere these to, see the bottom of the envelope, how it's open? Once we fold this over, you guys, this is going to be closed. So you don't have to worry about that. But if you're not comfortable with that, just add a bead of glue down there and just hold it down. Nothing will come out through the bottom. So just glue it down right there. If you want, this is not, you don't have to do this, but if you're more comfortable with that, just fold it down. Okay, now here we're going to add these to this flap, guys, to the flap that's down here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here, and I'm going to line this up again the way we did the other side, but this is going to be on the short little flap here. There you go. Let me use my bone folder to burnish. I hope I'm not shaking you too much, you guys, because I am on my little table. I got some excess glue. I'll just put it on this side. Oh, it's raining already here, you guys. Make sure to get out any glue if it's seeped out, because what happens is it gets in the center of your pocket, and then your pocket is going to be glued down. So here is my other little piece, you guys, and again I'm just going to line it up on the edge right here. Line it up right there and line it up right here. And there's my other piece. Make sure that it's glued down. And I usually line them up to the top of the pocket, you guys, not so much at the bottom, because really nothing that I'm going to put in there, unless I was putting in like some beads that were not in a package or some sequins that wasn't in a package. That's the only way anything can fall through, to be honest, and I'm not going to do that. So this we're going to fold over, you guys. We're going to hold our hinges down, fold this over, and here is our back pocket, you guys. All we have to do is add glue here and fold it over. How simple was that? And I'm gonna go ahead and add glue to both sides at the same time, because all I have to do is fold it over pretty much. I'm gonna hold it, squeeze these down, and then just fold it over, you guys, and hold it in place. Make sure my hinges are in where they're supposed to be. Come on. This one on this side is being a little stubborn, but not this one. And I'm going to you can get your bone folder and kind of just burnish it down, you guys, like that. There you go. Same thing on this side, just burnish it down. So this is the back of our of our loaded envelope, you guys. And I would go so far as to just kind of put my bone folder in the pocket on that little gusset where we glued it down. It just kind of run your bone folder there to make sure it is adhered down. So there's the back pocket, you guys. There's the front pocket. Now let's do the front. And this is only 2 pieces of paper, you guys, that we've used so far. The front and the back and the little gussets. That's it. Okay. To do the flap that goes in the front, that one I did do it an 1/8" because remember we scored this at 8 inches. So this whole piece right here is 8 inches, not like this one that's 7 7/8. So this piece that goes in the front, we're going to cut it 6 3/4 by 8 inches, and then we're going to score it at 6 1/4 and at 6 inches on the shorter side, not on the 8-inch, but on the shorter side. And then, like I said, that's going to give you a 1/2 inch to glue it down, and it's going to give you a 1/4 inch gusset where if you put die cuts in there and it's a little thick, it won't have a big gap. It won't stay opened. So mine's already scored, you guys. Remember, 6 3/4 by 8 inches, and we're going to score at 6 1/4 and at 6 inches. Oh, that's wrong. We are going to score at, not 6 1/4. You're going to go down to 6 1/4 and you're going to score, and then you're going to score again at 1/2 inch, and that's going to give you a 1/2 inch on the end and a 1/4 inch on the inside. So let's go ahead and fold those 2 score lines, you guys. And I'm not going to score them here because I am showing you where it's already scored, and I think you can see it pretty good. And as soon as I burnish these down, you'll definitely be able to see what I'm talking about. So here you go, you guys. See this 1/4 inch gusset? That's going to give you the room so your flap won't be gaping open if you put too much in there, unless you put way too much. And then this 1/4 inch is going to be adhered right here, you guys. And then we'll be able to flip this open. So let's go ahead and I'm not going to glue this down yet because for me, I find it easier to put the outer pockets on this before I even add it to the main envelope. So I already have my pockets cut out, guys. One of the pockets I cut it out at 7 inches, 7 by 8 inches, and it was 7 inches tall, and then it was 8 inches across. Because I'm sorry. It was 7 inches across and 8 inches down. And then you're going to score it at 6 1/2, and then you're going to rotate it and score it again at 6 1/2. So that leaves you this little piece right here. This little piece right here that is going to be in the front is going to be 6 inches wide. So you're going to have 2 1/2 inch score marks on either side of this. And then my pocket was 8 inches tall. I'm sorry, my pocket was not 8 inches tall, you guys. My pocket was 6 inches tall. I don't know why I have 8 there, but let me correct that. Let me see. So actually it should have been 6 by 7 inches. And like I said, it's okay that I'm writing on this because I'm going to cover it with paper, and it's not going to show. Now, when you cut it 6 inches tall, and it's going to be 7 inches wide, on the longer side, on the 7 inch side, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch. You're going to rotate it again. You're going to rotate it and score again at 6 1/2 inches. Okay, what I did to mine, you see this little rip right here? Well, I used a decorative edge die, you guys, to, I used a decorative edge die, this one right here, from, I think this is called Little Darlings. It's LDRS Creative. So these are the ones that, you know, they had on sale that were really economical. So I used that stitch curve one to go right along here. And when I fold it, you're going to be able to tell that I still need to, the die was not, right here, I'm burnishing on the those 1/2-inch score lines that I made on the side. I'm sorry, you guys, that it seems like I'm rushing, but I don't want this video to drag on because I know some of you get a little, don't like the long videos. And see, this didn't go all the way to the end, but when I close it up, I'll just finish nipping that off. And there you go. Same thing over here. It didn't cut all the way to the end, but after I folded my score lines, I can go back in and trim it off. That way, see my score lines, the shape that they have, because I closed them in, and that way they end up being just like the edging that I put on here. So I'm going to adhere this pocket down first to the flap that's going to be in the front, and I'm going to line it up right at the score line and right on the end over here because it's not going to interfere with anything. So let's put this one in, you guys. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to one side first. I'm going to do one side first and then I'll do the other one. I wanted to do the outer side first, but I didn't do that. So there it is, you guys. I'm just lining it up there, and I can open it up, and now I can burnish it with my burnishing tool, my scoring tool, my bone folder, and then I'm going to add glue at this end. And I know you can't see everything that I'm doing, but by the time I move over here to this side, you can see what I was actually doing. I was just adding glue to this flap, and then I'm going to close it over, you guys, and make sure that it's lined up at the very edge of my paper. Okay, there's my tall pocket. Let me show you. That's this pocket right here, you guys. Now I didn't measure, and then they're about the same, but that's that first pocket. Now I am going to add a bead of glue down here to close that up, that opening at the bottom. And you don't need a whole lot. This glue really does work very well. Some of it came out. So I'm just going to close that up. And we're going to add another pocket on top of this one, you guys. Make sure you clean up any glue that you might have. If you have a rag handy, that would be better, but I don't have one handy because a lot of times, you know, it'll leave that shiny look to it. And if you wipe it with a rag, you won't get that. A damp rag. Okay, that's one pocket right here, you guys. Now let's do the second pocket. On my second pocket, you guys, I did do a decorative edge. And if you notice again, my die was a little short. It didn't cut all the way to the end. But what I really wanted to show you was, see that embossing on this, you guys? Now I'm going to show you what I use to emboss. And I have it right here set aside because I really wanted to share that with you. So let me show you what I use. I use this right here, you guys. It's called the Emboss and Transfer Set by Sizzix. And there's a number 662111, and it comes with two pieces, you guys. It comes with this rubber mat, and then it comes with this white one, and this is a hard one. So these two pieces come in that set, you guys. I purchased this on Amazon. You can look for it on Amazon. And first I cut it out regular with my normal plates, and then what I do is I put my clear plate, the one that I don't cut on. I put my die. I leave the, after I cut it out with the die, I leave it as is. I don't take out my paper from the die. I leave them together. I lay my piece on here with the die, metal die, flat on here. Not the cutting edge, but the flat edge. Let me see if I left my die up here. I think I did leave it up here. Okay. This is the die that I use. This is that has the raised edge that cuts. This faces up, you guys. And then my paper, let's say this is my paper that I had cut on it. This is the way it is, guys. And then I get the rubber mat, and I put that over that, and then I put the hard plate over it, like this. This is the sandwich, you guys, for cutting. But you have to take out the light mint green thin shim that comes with your machine, and you have to, instead of using that one, you take that one out, and you have to add this one. Your B plate is what you use for this. You use your B plate with this. Don't use the regular one. Make sure you take out that top shim that's in there. That's this color, the mint green, and this is how I cut, you guys. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I mean, this is how I emboss, and that's why I get that really nice embossing. Now, if anybody's interested in this die, it was an Ali purchase. So you'll just have to go on there and look for it, because I have had it a long time. I don't even know if it's still available. I think it still is, but I don't know. The other thing, see how it didn't cut all the way through? Now this piece, you guys, was 4.5 inches tall, and it was 9 inches across. Now, after you do that, you're going to score it at 8.5 inches, at 8 inches, and at 7 inches. So that's going to give you 3 half-inch increments right here that are scored. And then you're going to rotate it, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And that's how we're going to get this pocket. Now, because this was a piece that was left over, I didn't have to add the extra hinges like we did on this back pocket, this gusset, because I left the paper long enough. So all I added was, to my 6 inches that went across, I added 1.5 inches on either sides. So I added 3 inches and scored it. That was it, you guys. But here are the measurements. If you need them, there they are. Okay, now we're going to trim this. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold the sides. Now, the thing that I don't like is, see this piece? It is basil paper, you guys. I see basil right there. That when I cut it, you guys, I didn't pay attention that it had writing on there. Now, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to add a trim to it, because I knew I was going to cut out this piece here, and I didn't want my pocket to be very shallow. So I'm going to leave it. And then I'll just add a piece of trim. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fold on my score lines, and you'll see what I'm talking about, why I left those there. So here's my gussets, you guys. Here's the gusset that's gonna be on those pockets, on that pocket. Again, I'm gonna fold in this first one, the other way, and this way. So this is going to be the pocket that goes here, you guys. But now we're going to have to trim off this edge right here. So all I'm going to do, and the reason I folded this, you guys, remember